Holy cow. There. Of course, I'm missing his point. I didn't say that. I'm saying he needs players too. Like who? A 32-year-old DeAndre Hopkins? Okay. You brought him in, an old guy, to help you out. You're making it sound like they brought in A.J. Brown. Holy cow. Hey, they got an old tight end and an old wide receiver. They got a geriatric offense right now. They got two dudes in their late 30s. Hey, can somebody throw me the ball before my AARP card runs out? And you got Devontae and AJ. Oh, no? All right. Hold on here. This guy thinks he's been kicking my ass the last couple times on my program. I'm going to have to take a giant. What can I say? No, I won't do that one. Who can I say? Nah, I don't want to make it political. I'm going to take a giant Roger Goodell on someone here in a minute. All right, folks. Without further ado, he is the co-host of Birds 365. Let me make it. I'm sounding like Paul Olden, the public announce address guy for the New York Yankees, who used to do the Rays, by the way, who I know well. And by the way, I called him and told him that was the worst exhibit of baseball I've ever seen at Yankee Stadium. Number 3. Our friend, Big Z, Zander Krause.
What's up, Big Silz?
How you doing, Junior?
Good, man. Good, man.
How you feeling about this week with Dougie Boy coming to town?
I feel so good. I almost feel too good, right? I mean, how can the Eagles lose this game? They trade their left tackle. Their 3 top wide receivers are gone.
They sent him to Minnesota, right?
2 offensive linemen are now on the injury report that didn't play yesterday. I mean, can Doug Peterson field the team this weekend? I don't know. I almost feel too good. It's a little scary. You never want to feel that good going into an NFL game. But am I loud? Greg says my mic is loud, so let me check my mic.
I think you're great. It's good. It's good. You think he's the second coach fired?
What's that?
You think he's the second coach fired?
Who, Doug?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he should be.
I know that. Do you think he's going to be the second coach fired?
I think it's highly likely because that franchise is dumb as a box of rocks, and they don't know what they're doing. I mean, for all the struggles that Doug has had in the last year and a half or 2 years, I mean, he's been the winningest coach they've had in how long? I mean, he took them to the playoffs the first year. I mean, you got it. You that organization is terrible. At one point, they got to be able to look in the mirror and understand that you got to fix your organization. You can't just keep rotating coaches in and out. But I don't know. We'll see what they end up doing. Like I said, I wouldn't. If I were Doug, I wouldn't take it as a self-indictment. Right. Yeah, I mean, the Jags will fire anybody. They're a bad organization.
Okay, so I did this now, and I'm gonna my top 7 quarterbacks in the NFC are Hurts 7, Love 6, Cousins 5, Stafford 4, Daniels 3. This is playing this year.
Wait, can you restart that?
Okay, in 8 weeks of the 2024 season.
Okay.
My top, I can't do 10 because they all, well, wait a minute.
No, we don't need to do 10. I would say 6. What are you doing, 8? How many make the playoffs? 7, right?
7. We'll do 7.
7's good. And you're doing NFC?
Yeah, NFC only.
Okay.
You think Jalen Hurts is – here, I'm going to put that to the side.
Jalen is definitely in the top 7.
Get the fuck out of here.
In the NFC? Stop.
Wait, I got him 7. I got him 7. I don't think Jalen's playing better football this year than Kyler Murray. I do not think that. He's had 3 good games. Green Bay, the Browns, and this one. The rest of them have been spotty at best.
I mean, I fully will admit to everybody right now, I do not carve time out of my Sundays to make sure I tune on the Arizona Cardinals. So I don't know exactly how good he's playing, but he is having a nice year. 11 touchdowns, 3 picks, 67 completion percentage, and 98 rating.
All better than Hurts.
Yeah, that's pretty good. But I mean, like I said, I haven't watched their games. I've watched a couple of their games. I watched their their primetime game, but yeah, I don't know. I don't love
They
Kyler
blew
Murray,
the
but
Niners out, and they
what's
blew
that?
out. They blew the Niners and the Rams out.
Didn't they lose last week on Sunday Night Football or
I
Monday
think
Night Football?
I thought they lost they lose to Indianapolis.
It was the Chargers game. That's why
The Chargers game.
the
Okay.
Chargers game was Kyler's worst game of the year.
Okay.
And that's why. But the Cardinals won, but Kyler Murray he threw a 50% completion percentage with a touchdown and an interception and a 50 rating. I mean, he wasn't very good in that game. I mean, all right, where do you have Kyler?
I don't have him in my top 7. I got Hurts 7. I'm gonna have him there. I'm gonna put Hurts there because he's 5-2, and Kyler's 4-4. I got Love 6.
Kyler's 3-4.
Oh, he's 3-4. I'm totally putting.
Wait a second. Are they 3-4? Or are they 4?
I thought they were 4-4, dog.
They're 4-4. My bad. I was looking at the week.
Okay, but I still, because he's 5-2, I'm going to put him there. I'm going to put Hurts there at 7. I got Love at 6.
7?
Yeah.
You're telling me you have 6 quarterbacks in the NFC right now playing better than Jalen?
I think Love's playing better.
I think Love's up there. I mean, number one's obvious. It's Jared
Cousins is playing better than him.
Cousins is playing pretty lights out right now. I think Cousins had 4 touchdowns this past weekend.
Hey, and he's beating them. Stafford. I got Stafford at 4.
All right. One good game. You just told me you won't give Jalen a credit.
Wait a minute. So wait a minute. You don't think Stafford's been playing great ball since he's got his guys?
He has 3 touchdown passes in 6 games.
So if you're in a football game, you're going to pick Jalen Hurts over Matthew Stafford.
That's not the exercise.
I think Stafford's having a better season, carrying what's been on with that team.
Oh man, Stafford had one good game.
Hurts has had really one good one too. The last one he played, Cincinnati.
Hurts' numbers are not bad this year.
Really? How about them turnovers?
What's he at? He's like 21st in the league in turnovers.
Well, how many turnovers does he have right now? Let's take a look at Jalen Hurts.
He's got 6 or 7. 7 maybe?
That's not awful.
4 fumbles, 3 picks.
Interception. He's got how many? You got 10 turnovers?
No, he doesn't have 10 turnovers.
Well, if he's got 8, let's see here.
He doesn't have 10 turnovers this year.
He's got 4, so he's got probably 7. What is it? 3 fumbles? So he's got 7 turnovers. That's not horrible. 8 touchdowns and 4 picks.
He got 7. He got 4 interceptions and 3 lost fumbles this year. He's got 7 turnovers. That's
not horrible.
That's not bad. That's not bad. In the modern NFL, I mean, he's got a turnover a game right now. That's not bad.
That's not horrible. That's all right. That's all right.
4 it was 3, Prince. And Prince, by the way, I did see your comment. Do I agree? I do agree with what you were saying, Prince.
I got Jaden Daniels at 3. You know, they're going for their 7th straight win.
Where'd you put Cousins?
I got him 5th.
Oh, that's a little low for me. I think he's been better than that this year.
You think he should be ahead of Stafford?
I definitely think he should be ahead of Stafford. Stafford had one good game, Silz. Literally.
Here's what I have. All right.
Silz, remember though, before last week.
We all got a list here. I got it.
Before last week, Silz, we were talking about them trading Matthew Stafford because he was playing that bad.
7 Hurts, 6 Love, 5 Cousins, 4 Stafford, 3 Daniels, 2 Purdy, 1 Goff. That's who I have in the NFC right now.
All right.
Kyler Murray's kind of an oddity here.
I think I got Hurts right around. If I want to stick to what I did yesterday by putting Hurts above Daniels because I'm not sold on Daniels yet, I'd have Hurts at 3. But if I wanted to put him below Daniels because Daniels has been better this year so far, I'll have Hurts at 4. I might go Goff, Cousins, Daniels, Hurts, Purdy, Stafford, and then Kyler. Maybe Kyler above Stafford.
Kyler Murray, man, because Kyler Murray could win that division too. They're all at 4. I think the Rams are still at 3 and 4.
No, James, you're right, man. you're definitely right. Jaden is doing a great job for sure. I mean, if you're judging just these 8 games, which is what I think we're
I
doing
am.
here,
That's what I'm doing.
yeah, which is why I'm critical of Stafford. But yeah, I mean, Daniels could arguably number 2 if you go that route.
I saw a
I
list.
think Goff is definitely the number 1.
Oh my God, dude! And
Goff,
you know what? And I said this
Daniels.
earlier. So I'm out on Sam Darnold. I'm not putting Darnold in there.
Yeah, but he's played good, man.
I know he has,
I
man.
know. I mean, look, this is a
I know
different
we're doing
exercise than putting your
24.
top
We're doing 20.
quarterbacks.
I know.
If we're talking about the 8 games.
8 games in 2024. We're not talking about legacy here. Yeah.
I think Purdy belongs in the top 7. Yes, Chuck. I might be a Purdy guy. I don't know. I don't have Purdy 2, Philly. I think I got Goff. My list might be Goff, Daniels, Hurts, Cousins, Murray, Purdy, and Stafford.
You are really weighing in a lot the last 3 weeks of the lack of turnovers with Hurts as growth
What's
of
the
him.
trend?
Okay, but his play. How do
It's
you
a
think
trend,
the
though.
last? How do you think the last 3 weeks he's played? What grade would you give that last 3 weeks? Counting the Giants game too.
Yeah, I mean, he was okay against the Browns. He wasn't a worm burner. He wasn't great against the Giants, but I mean, I think the way the team is played is what's given me the optimism. Because last time our team played like that,
So is it the team or is it him that you're more?
Yeah, but the team playing like that benefits him. That's why he was in the MVP conversation in 22. So if they get back to that formula, I mean, I think he could be the best quarterback in the NFC. But that means they got to stick with that
formula. Yes,
they've been on it. I mean, right? I mean, they've been sticking to it a little bit here.
They get back to that
I agree,
formula.
Jarrell. It's a team game.
They get back to that formula.
Wait, let me show Philly 500 something. Philly, look at this. I got something for Philly 500. The legend.
No way.
The legend. Great. The legendary Philly 500. Let me turn off my virtual
background. Kind to us too, man, coming on the program.
Check it out. Check out this.
No way.
How epic is this shirt?
That is absolute. Look at that, Philly. Have you seen this?
Yeah, it's on his thing. I ordered it up.
That's fantastic.
Right? Got to go get your Philly 500 merch, everybody.
Way to go, dog.
Yeah, I'm happy he's in here. I'm happy. That literally delivered to my house today. I was going to wear it on the show. I wanted to wear it on Wednesday, but it didn't deliver when Philly was coming up after me.
Very good, man. All good. That's
great shirt, 500. Love it, man.
Okay, so in your opinion right now, last 3 weeks, the most impressive thing about Jalen Hurts has been the turnovers, in your opinion.
I mean, it's not just that. I think it's the total body of work. I mean, look, last week he played very efficient football.
Efficient, okay.
And he's gotten better each week. Like the Browns game, he got the no turnovers down, but he didn't have like a great game. The Giants game, he was efficient. They ran the ball a lot, no turnovers. I thought he built on it. Last week, you started to see him slicing and dicing in the air again with no turnovers, with a balanced attack, and the offense destroyed, I think, a formidable, I don't think a brutal team. I mean, I know people are critical of the Bengals. They don't have the best defense, but look, you know how it is, Silz. Anytime you have an elite quarterback, you're a player in the league. I mean, that's how it works. Joe Burrow is a great player. So I thought it was a good win last week, man. 37 points on that team. I thought it was a good win. I really did.
You know, there was something that was said in the press conference the other day by Nick Sirianni, and I think people, when I posted it, thought that I was taking a shot at Nick, and I really wasn't. So Nick was kind of like this. He went, got to hand it to Doug Peterson. I'm paraphrasing this now. He goes, Doug, man, he helped me out on my transition on being the head coach, and here's a guy that was just fired. And then he went like this, man, I don't know. There's no way I could do something like that. But then he caught himself, and he kind of tried to but I got to tell you the truth. Any place I've ever been canned or any place that someone's taken my position, I'm sorry, dude. I'm not rooting for you. I'm just not. I'm not rooting for you, and I'm just being transparent here with it. You think I want someone to come in here if I got replaced here and I want them to do a better job than me? Absolutely not. I don't want anybody to have a better radio show than me. I don't want anyone to have a better TV show than me. And there's no way. Do you really think Anthony Richardson is hoping that Joe Flacco plays better than him now that he's been demoted?
No.
I mean, hey, by the way, how did Carson Wentz act after Nick Foles got the Super Bowl and everyone was looking at him when he was moping in the Super Bowl right after the win? There he is in his locker over there moaning and crying. How do you think he felt?
Yeah, no, you're right. What do you think of the Anthony Richardson thing?
But if you're benching him because he's sucking, which he is, that's one thing. If you're benching him because of that incident, that's the wrong thing. Young players make stupid mistakes. Okay? They make stupid mistakes. They don't do the right things. Today's athlete is different. And if you can't adjust to that, you're the wrong guy in the building. You've got to go over and above more today. Zander, you can't grab a guy by his face mask anymore and turn it like you did back in the day. You've got to have more of a cerebral connection with the guy to be able to talk to them, because these kids today are different than what it was. You're asking questions like this: why am I doing that? Back then, you ran through a wall or into a fire when your coach told you. That's not the kid of today. And if you don't understand that, you're not adapting with the times. That's the great coach, in my opinion. And I think Shane sat him because of this. Shane also has an owner that's a psychotic and a pill-popping maniac.
Yeah, he is.
Jim Irsay. He's got to be concerned about his gig at all times, or that will be pulled out from him the same way. And by the way, do I think that Jim Irsay had something to do with that? Probably. He hated Carson Wentz. Wentz had a hell of a season in Indianapolis this year there. 27 touchdowns and 6 picks. That was not an awful year for him, man. And he hated him. And so they ended up moving on from him. So,
dude, if you think about that, you just said those stats. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, he had 3,800 passing.
Guy throws 27 touchdowns and 6 picks for you, and you acted like he was the worst thing you ever seen.
And look at the quarterback play you've had since.
I know. I mean, that dude is a spy. So I think two things can be true here with Richardson. I think there's a major problem of rushing QBs in the NFL. I'm not, but here's the second thing that might.
But they also overdrafted him.
Well, he might also suck. I don't know. I think it's too early to tell.
Zander, he sucked at Florida.
And that's where that's where my bias might come from, where I watched him at Florida in the SEC, and I'm like, this guy, I never thought he should have been drafted where he was drafted. But I do think there's a rush process. And look, I think it benefited Jalen Hurts that he was on the bench for most of his rookie year. I think it benefited Patrick Mahomes. Remember, Andy Reid and Brett Veach drafted him and put him on the bench behind Alex Smith for a year. Aaron Rodgers 3 years. Jordan Love 3 years on the bench. Like, that's still a great formula for success for quarterbacks. And, when a position is that valuable, I think you kind of got to get back to that a little bit. Now, I think the rushes, right, organizations want to turn around so bad. And then you also see, you know what makes it harder for those other quarterbacks? The Jaden Daniels of the world and the CJ Strouds of the world, where they come in and they completely change a franchise around in 1 year. And that's what I think, every franchise dreams of having. And then they rush him out there, and I don't know about Richardson. I will say that. I really don't know about
Dude, Richardson. He was 51% completion percentage at Florida. I never thought he was good. By the way, all super chats will be read at the end here. We promise you. Don't forget also Merrill Reese will join us. That'll be at 4:30. Yeah, here's Jim Irsay here, Zander. He went 9-8, had a 63 quarterback percentage completion rate, threw for 3,600 yards, 27 touchdowns, and 7 picks, and you fired him. I mean, what have you had since him in Indianapolis?
Yeah, I mean, somebody brings up, and maybe this is a fine point. And you don't know. I mean, I don't know this to be true, but it is fair because he was obviously somewhat of an issue in Philly with this too. Maybe he was a cancer in the locker room. Well, a lot of people.
Why would Andy bring a cancer in his own locker room then?
Who?
Why would Andy bring a cancer into a locker room?
Yeah, that's fair. Well, I think he's at a different phase.
Why would Sean McVay bring a cancer into a locker room?
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, look, I think he's at a different phase of his career now where he's kind of accepted the backup role.
Okay.
And that'll change, I guess, your mentality.
He's going to get an opportunity to be a starter somewhere because
you think so?
Oh, I do.
He's got to be pretty old now. What's he, 33?
No way.
31. No way. All right, it's 31.
You know why he's going to get a shot? Because Sam Darnold did.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, Wentz has a lot of talent. We all know that.
Got a chance to turn his career around.
Yeah. You think?
I think Gino's older, isn't he? Gino's like
Gino's
35,
34. Yeah, he's 34.
34, 35.
Wow, that'd
He's
be
gonna get it
crazy. If
done.
Carson Wentz revives his career and gets a big ass contract again, that would be
How about
wild.
this? How about Carson Wentz wins another Super Bowl ring?
Well, he might win one this year in Kansas City.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He may get his second Super Bowl ring sitting on the pine. Not too
Yeah.
bad there, man.
It's a wait and see league in the NFC, man. You remember that? I saw a clip today floating around Twitter of the Lions collapse in that NFC title game. Oh
Terrible
my God.
coaching, actually. That
Really bad coaching, but man, that was a bad game for them. So look, anything can happen. I think if the Eagles just stay close, stay in it, keep building, and keep a good semblance of a team unit together and be bought in, I think at any given moment we can beat anybody in this league.
I think any team can beat anybody.
I agree.
I think that applies to anybody. How about this? Are you concerned about this? Jalen Carter did not practice yesterday. Dickerson didn't practice. Goddard, obviously, hamstring, didn't practice. Slay, groin, didn't practice. And Becton left practice, concussion.
I mean, it's obviously a little concerning when you hear it, but, John McMullen just put out today, Jalen Carter was back at practice today.
Okay.
So that was good. Let me see if he gave any other updates on some of the other guys, but yeah, no, just Jalen. He just tweeted out the Jalen. I'm sure there'll be an injury report today, but Jalen was back out there. So John kind of mentioned to me they're keeping him.
I think they're more resting him than they are.
Yeah, I think he tweaked something in his shoulder, Jalen Carter, and they're just trying. It's not anything bad, but they're trying to make sure it gets back to 100%. And they're not working him in practice. So, and I think Becton's good and Landon is good as well. So everybody should be good. I think the Eagles just have this approach, for better or for worse, whether you like it or you don't, they like to try and keep their guys healthy and not put them through too much during the week, especially the guys that don't need it. I mean, that's the Saquon approach. They're barely practicing Saquon. I mean, when he's out there, he's not practicing super hard. They're running them in the games and they're kind of letting them coast during the week, which I don't think is a bad approach.
Let me ask you this here. You want them to stay on the same rhythm and you want them to stay with the same approach. Philly 500's in here too with us. You want them to stay on the same approach that they have the last 3 weeks of predominantly being a team that inflicts their will by running the ball and by being effective in the passing game. I'm not saying the numbers have to be 14. They could be 22, 23 in passes.
Right.
I'm somewhere in that room, right? You want them to be that.
I think that's the best method. I mean, we pointed out those running stats yesterday, and I brought it up with John, and he's like, look, that's because those are the teams that are winning games. Yes, they're going to run more when they're winning games. They close them out with the run. And I'm like, all right.
They're setting the
Like,
passing.
but sometimes you just got to let shit go because, he feels the same way I feel, that I'm not getting through to him and he's not getting through to me. So It's one of those conversations where it was just like, all right, we're going to agree to disagree.
Obviously, if you just watch the game, you see what's going on.
I agree. I mean, watch Detroit. Their rate of running in the first quarter is high. It's not just closing out games.
Right.
You got to inflict your will a little bit. And that's the way to do it.
They played a Jalen Hurts game. The guy had, what did he have? 85 yards passing, but what was he? He was effective in those passes because why? They scored 21 points.
Yeah.
He threw 21 touchdowns. Think about that. 21 points and touchdowns he threw, and he only threw 85 yards. What's that tell you? They must have ran the fuck out of that ball there in that game, and they were constantly.
Well, yeah, they got a big lead. That's not even the greatest example. They've had other games where, they've been in a little bit tighter contest. Who was the game that they were down 10 and they came back and won the game?
Minnesota.
Right. They ran the ball. Even down 10, they were running the football. And I keep saying this, but look, whatever. It's falling on dead ears. Everybody can have their own opinion on it, obviously. I think it's the best approach for this football team. Be balanced. Okay. I'm not saying get rid of the passing game. I'm not saying get rid of it. Be balanced. Find the moment. And I also think early in games it's important because it kind of lets everybody settle into the game. You come out with a quarterback, it's like Silz. You're grinding a gear with no oil in it, right? I mean, tossing go routes to the first play of the game.
I'm going to tell you why I asked you this question. Ready?
Good.
Well, the one thing that the Jags do well is stop the run. They're 9th. Okay?
They're not that good at it, Silz.
You're 9th. You're not awful. That's 8 weeks of football.
Okay, but did you look at the metric?
I did.
The first in the NFL is holding them to.
Wait a minute. That's what they do best.
Still giving up 111 yards a game.
Okay, well, that's not awful in today's NFL. How much are the Eagles giving up? Eagles are giving up 120.
They're right in there. That's what I mean. From
Okay.
11, from 9 to 20 is in the same range.
Right. So you're in the middle of the road. I'm not. That's the only thing they do well on that side of the ball. And here's where I was going. It's not really the point I'm making here. The point I'm making is, do you stay with that formula? Do you want, or do you do this? They're awful in pass defense. They're 31st.
Yeah, they're worst.
Do you start throwing the hell out of the football in this game? Or do you get into a position where, again, you stick with what you are and who you are, like Baltimore does? I think this is going to be the first game, Zander, where we're going to test that philosophy, because you know what this is a setup for? 35 passes. Because, dude, I can't tell you, that might be the worst pass defense in pro football right now, that Jags secondary.
Yeah, they're bad.
They're absolutely awful. And you got two premier wide receivers, and you got a tight end that's emerging, and you got a running back who can kill you also in the perimeter if you get the ball out to him. Do you start off by passing? Like, you put those first 25 plays out there, and you're more so on the passing side because they can't? Or do you stick with the formula that's been winning more, where you run the ball more than you throw it? What are you doing?
If it's me, I'm sticking with the formula, but I'm looking for a little bit more opportunities, knowing that that's my opponent's weakness, right? I mean, that's the art of war by Sun Tzu. I mean, exploit your opponent's weaknesses. Seriously, right? I mean, that doesn't mean you're going to abandon the run, but you know that your opponent can't stop the pass. Okay, look for more opportunities, but that doesn't mean become something you're not. So I would run it early in the game, look for opportunities in the pass game, and I think they're going to be there in a big way. I actually think this could be Jalen's biggest game in the air this week, because, they'll probably run up 3-4 touchdowns, on this team if they can't stop the pass.
Jalen's biggest day of the year, 182 yards passing. Oh, that'll be his biggest. Oh, wait, no, 240 would be probably his biggest day passing. Oh, my God. You guys, man, you don't know the shit that I'm taking lately here about all you honks that are now all of a sudden back on the hurts. Hey, dude, this guy's okay. He's okay.
Like you say, Silz, players change your opinions because the games change. If they get back to this formula,
yes,
you said it on Monday after the game, and it wasn't even me. This looks more like 22. We saw what 22 can be. I mean, we went toe-to-toe with Mahomes. We lost, I know, but we did go there. If that's what we can be, and I think that's how we're built still to this day, and the defense is well ahead of schedule right now. I mean, if they stick with this game plan, this is something you can ride all the way to the end. I think you can beat Detroit.
Not today.
Not today. I'm saying I think this defense,
January
getting up. I think there's some mismatches too for Detroit.
Hey, oh yes. By the way, let's see what Detroit does by the 5th, November 5th. Let's see what they do on the 5th. That's trading deadline, because if they land Trey Hendrickson, and you got Trey Hendrickson out there pass rushing, dude, God forbid they get Max Crosby, because then you're talking about Max Crosby. I'm not saying that either. I think they're going to make a B move.
They might be the game of the weekend. I think they're playing the Packers this weekend. That's a hell of a game, man. Those are
old school NFC North game.
Those are probably the two biggest contenders at this point in the NFC for the Eagles right now. Probably. I think the Eagles are up at the top, and I think it's Detroit, Green Bay is up there for sure. They're finding their stride. Jordan Love's playing well. He's turning the ball over way too much, though. He's got 9 picks, dude.
Mm-hmm.
9 picks. Now, he's got a lot of talent, that kid. I like him a lot as a player, but he's got to clean that up, or that's not winning football. So,
are they 5-2? Are you talking Packers, right?
They're 6-2.
They're 6-2.
Yep, they're 6-2.
Okay.
They're a good team, man.
Absolutely.
One of their losses was to the Eagles. Now, that was week 1, so it's kind of a little bit different way to look at it with week 1, but still a good win for the Eagles.
How about this one here, Zander? Next week, November 5th, trading deadline, 4 p.m. Eastern. If I'm going to make a move for somebody, I'm going to make a move for a veteran, and here's why. I don't want to take quality reps away from the young kids. I want a guy who can fit in and know how to fit into a locker room without having to work his way in. I don't want a young guy wanting to try to work his way in to reps, because I'm not touching the linebackers. I'm not touching I might touch.
Where are you going? The end?
I'm here. I'm not touching the linebackers. I'm not touching the safeties. Boy, I'd like to get rid of Slay.
Nah.
I'd like to get rid of Slay and get Rodgers out there and get him more reps and just let all the youngsters go, man, because, dude, Slay's been in and out of the lineup.
I know, but dude,
he's been banged up all year.
Dude,
Every
Slay's
game
playing
he's
too good.
leaving.
Look, I'm not the big. I was the one this summer who called for a
You
trade.
really think he's played well this year?
Oh, he's played very well.
I don't.
Played
How
very
can you
well.
tell? He hasn't been out there on the field a lot.
Well, he has been out there a decent amount, and he's graded out very well. I mean, you've seen him he saved a touchdown last week in the end zone. I'm not the biggest Slay guy in the world, but dude, if you're gonna sit here and say we want to compete for a Super Bowl this year, you don't even think about trading Slay. Stop. Think about that, Silz. Think about what you're saying, because I get it.
How good do you think he's going to be in January?
And so your solution to that though is
no. How good do you think he'll be in? How good do you think he'll be? And by the way, if he was such a great football player, what happened to him a year ago with the 31st ranked defense and pass defense? All of a sudden now Vic has a new system, and all of a sudden they're better in pass defense. And ain't because of him. It's because clearly the coordinator has made it possible for the entire defense because they're starting to get pressure and stopping the run. That's why that secondary is playing better. The guy only plays center field for you. And my question would be with a 35-year-old corner, how's he going to play in December?
All right, so here's my problem with it.
Banged up all year. I think that guy's going to fall to pieces by January. He's falling.
You might be right about that.
He's falling apart in front of you now, and it's only the first 6 weeks of the season.
Yeah, I mean that, or he knows he's older. That, or he knows he's older, and he's going to have to. The end is more important than right now. So, but look,
or maybe
here's my problem. Here's my problem with the Slay conversation right now. It's less about Slay and more about if we believe we have a shot this year, an inkling of a shot, whatever it is. If you believe you have a shot, you do not put your cornerback 1 or cornerback 2 duties in the hands of Isaiah Rodgers or Keely Ringo, 2 completely unproven players. You just don't do that, Silz.
But I'm not going to put my cornerback play in the hands of a guy that is fading in health.
Slay's been good this year, dude.
It's fading in health and durability.
I think we're looking at this the same. You're talking about next year. I agree. Entertain the conversation for sure. I don't think we need Slay back next year.
You're not a. This goes to 95% of the teams. You're not a Super Bowl team yet. You're trying to get to December to determine whether or not you're going to be.
And you think trading Slay will do that?
Wait a minute. Because the war of attrition is going to dictate that. I think that guy's falling into the hands of the war of attrition. I'm going to tell you this. There's a great chance I think that guy won't finish the season.
You might be right.
How many games has he not finished this year? 3? 2?
Yeah, what's his stats this year? How many games has he played? I mean, look, I think you bring up a good point. He's
played in all of them, but I think he's been pulled. I think he's come out of not almost all of them. I think he's come out of 3 of them.
Let's see where he's at this year.
I think
he's played in all. He's played in all 7 games.
But he's been. Yeah. He missed the entire second half. Last week.
Yeah, no, fourth quarter, right?
Was it fourth? I thought he got hurt. Then he got hurt the week before against the Giants.
Look, I get what you're saying, because I brought this up in the offseason. Everybody ripped me. I'm like, should we trade Slay and get the young guys up and try and get an asset for him? People didn't like it then. Now I'm sitting here and I'm like, I think at this point, through 8 weeks, if you believe you're a Super Bowl contender, it's not the right time to trade your captain cornerback. It's just not. It's not. Look, what does that signal to the team? I mean, what are we saying about the Jaguars this year? Same deal. They believe that the left tackle's a little old. He's on a 1-year deal. They don't want to bring him back next year.
So their season's over.
Their season's over.
Right.
I mean, they literally looked like they waved the white flag after week 8. I don't believe that that's the right move for the Eagles to make, to signal to your locker room, to your fan base, to anybody. Now, if you got issues with Slay, I don't have a problem with your issues. Not you, just anybody in general. I think they're fine, but I don't think you get rid of them.
My attitude with the football team is that the youth has taken over and that there's an energy with the young guys. The young guys are adapting to Vic. I'll tell you this is an indictment a little bit on the Miami Dolphins, and I really like their young group back there. By the way, I think that play, and it was singled out by Vic Fangio on how athletic it was when it came to Isaiah Rodgers. He was a huge fan, and he was asked a question about more reps, and he said he is going to get more reps, and you're going to see him out on the field a lot more. By the way, I think they're going to keep that Cooper kid there in the slot, and they're going to keep him. Let me tell you this, man. Look how young you could be out there. You have Isaiah Rodgers out there and Cooper DeJean in the slot, and you have Quinyon Mitchell over there at corner. You got your fucking secondary set up for the next 7 years.
I hear you, but let me ask you this. Is there a fine line that you're walking there between
completely
too young, and not enough vet? Because look, I get the concern with Slay. I really do. I mean, I'm not the biggest Slay guy. I've admitted that. But you want to go into this playoffs versus teams like the Lions and, whoever who comes out of the AFC looking for a chance to win, and you're going to have 3 young, unproven dudes out there who've never played late in an NFL season. I think that's riskier than keeping Slay. I really do.
So to me, I think it's 50-50. He makes the season. It makes the playoffs. Fair.
I'd feel a whole lot better about Isaiah Rodgers in a limited role late in the year than I do about making him the full-time guy. Remember, everybody's high on Isaiah Rodgers right now because he made a good play in a quarter of ball.
A great play.
A great play. It was a phenomenal play, actually. I'll go as far as to say it was one of the better plays on defense of the year for the Eagles. You got to – if he gets out there, I think, more in the field, he could get exposed. That's all I'm saying. There's a reason he was kind of a castaway.
Well, actually, I thought it was because the Colts didn't know how to utilize him because they only put him on special teams there, too, and never really gave him an opportunity.
He played in coverage over there.
But I will say this. You know what I feel better with Isaiah Rodgers than I do with Darius Slay? That guy's not going to get beat deep. Every single time I see guys running past Darius Slay, his veteran leadership and understanding the position, what does he do? Grabs him because he knows that he can't run with these guys any longer. Dude, he's still a good cover guy. He's not going to not be a good cover guy. But I think he's limited in health, and I think those big, deep passes get past, and he gets those guys behind him. And to me,
look, he made a hell of a play in the end zone the other game.
I think Isaiah gives you more youth and more speed at that position than what Darius Slay does. And again,
it maybe does. I mean, it maybe does. You're probably right about that. I just don't want to go there. Where I think Slay is really a liability is actually in the tight situations where you don't have to worry about over the top. Like, for example, like goal line, in and outs with quick routes. That's where I think Slay gets beat. I mean, you saw him get beat in the Super Bowl, obviously, famously. That's where I don't like Slay, where I think he's older and he's not as quick as he used to be. But I don't know.
And by the way, just to show you what Senor doesn't know what the hell he's talking about, when you're sitting inside of a room that you're deciding on what to do on a trade, don't you think that Howie Roseman and the coaches and the analytic guys are spitting out potentials and writing everything on the board that Zander and I are talking about right now on what potential moves they could possibly make to better the team? Howie says he's constantly always trying to improve the team. What do you think he does? He puts his thumb up his ass, Senor, all freaking day long? That guy's constantly thinking of scenarios to get the football team better. That's what a general manager does. That's how a general manager gets himself a quarterback or a guy in a ladder round to bring in and make your football team better, is spitting those ideas around. That's how you improve your roster, not sitting around like you and jerking off.
All right, how much stock you put in? I know you don't like this, but what's your thought on PFF?
50-50. Some things are good, some things are bad.
Okay.
I like
that's about where I am as well. That's about where I am as well. Who's been better this year, Quinyon Mitchell or Darius Slay?
Probably because of the limited targets on his side. He's probably going to have a higher rating, Slay, but in my opinion, Mitchell's better.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, Slay's graded out like 19th right now in the NFL. Slay or Quinyon's down at 40. So I'm not saying that's everything. I'm not saying that's everything.
How about
I'm
this?
Just saying,
when you use your eyeball test, who are you feeling better with, Mitchell or Slay?
I haven't seen Slay get beat. Like, where is everybody coming up when Slay's getting burnt? He's not getting burnt. He's giving up a couple throws.
I don't think they've really played anybody in the last 3 weeks that throws the ball to anybody.
Dude, Joe Burrow tried to dot something to the end zone on Slay, and he broke it up beautifully. That was
he
a
targeting
beautiful
then? If
pass
he
breakup.
wasn't, if Jamar Chase only had one fucking catch, who was he eating up then in the secondary?
Well, they play zone defense, so it's a little bit harder.
Oh, that's why those numbers are effed up when it comes to PFF. You know why? Because when I see that Quinyon Mitchell number, all of a sudden I see Joe Burrow go 17 plays, and he's eating somebody up in the second half, and people are going like this. Wait a minute, what happened here? I mean, he killed somebody, didn't he?
Yeah, I don't know. I hear everybody. I just don't like the
jaded.
idea of trading a veteran captain. I know he's not the greatest captain. I get it, but I don't like the idea. I mean, look, let's just go through it. Eagles announced they trade Darius Slay. What's your reaction?
I don't care. If I'm one of them young guys that play on that team ball, you know what I mean? To me, that means you're showing more. You're giving these guys more of a pat on the back, and you're showing more confidence in the younger players that you can pick it up, because that's why you drafted them too. You drafted them, and now you're seeing the confidence. I'll tell you this, if I'm a young player and 35-year-old Slay's there and they trade him away, and all of a sudden Vic walks in the room, he's going to look at the young guys going, it's your time now. And those young guys are going to take ownership of that shit and go like this. Holy shit, they traded away a captain because they feel confident in Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell, Isaiah Rodgers, all the guys back there. They feel comfortable with us, and that would give me energy. I could give a shit about the guy. It's part of the game, man. Hey, congratulations. Here's your thing. Your next general manager. We love you, Slay, but this is about the group here. It's not about him.
Yeah,
Dude,
I'm not into it.
You're telling me as a young football player that if you saw something dealt like that, you're not telling me the younger players in the room wouldn't go, wow, these guys are showing tremendous confidence in me. I wouldn't sit here going like this. Wow, that's terrible.
Yeah, but that's in a perfect world. You're also assuming that people in the locker room wouldn't be like,
that is
our front office traded away our star cornerback? I mean,
star cornerback? I'm not.
That's the perception, though.
I do not believe he's a star.
Okay, I'm just saying you might signal the wrong thing to the locker room that we're sellers, we're not buyers. I mean, teams that go to Super Bowl, Silz, don't trade their cornerback one at the deadline.
That guy is not making the year. That's just going to be in a prediction here.
Yeah, but that's a different event. Wait, let me ask you this.
Last thing on Slay. Like you do.
Last thing on Slay. Because this could tilt the scale.
I don't see him like you do.
All right, this could tilt the scale. What are you presuming to get back for him in a trade?
Nothing. He's not, dude. If you traded Darius Slay right now, you wouldn't get more than a 6th rounder for him. He's 35 years old and makes $11 million. Who's trading for that?
You're right. That's why I ain't trading him. The fuck you want a 6th rounder for?
So he has a 6th round value. Okay.
What do you want a 6th rounder for?
You're calling that a star? You know what a star is? 2 first rounders for Patrick Surtain. That's a star.
Well, dude, he's like 25.
No shit. That's my dude. The economics of business too has to play a factor in all this.
I hear you. I'm not quite as sold on Isaiah Rodgers.
I'm not quite as sold that you think that guy's a star still either.
Well,
I don't believe he is. I think
there's a lot of folks who are putting the cart before the horse with.
I think he's a fine ball player. I don't think he's a great ball player anymore. I think his best years are 2 years ago.
Dude, you're acting like he's out there getting torched every week.
I think anybody could play center field in that defense.
I think
James Bradbury proved that to you.
I think people's biggest problem with Slay is more about the personality, and I don't have an issue with that. I don't love it either. But I mean, if we're talking about, I mean, play on the field, it hasn't been.
James Bradbury proved to you that anybody could play in that system. Got a $9 million a year deal.
I'm not a PFF buyer, so I don't know how to look up how many.
They have some good things in there, but yeah, okay. Look, if somebody put the tape on, they would all be going like this. This Mitchell kid looks great. He's better than the other guy on the other side, but yet that guy's rated higher. Okay, well,
all right. So what's a better approach? Even if you're right, would you rather have Slay with Rodgers and Ringo, or have Rodgers and Ringo without Slay?
Man, I want to remember what I told you about compromising and losing games early? so that the betterment of the team is better in November and December going into January. If I could get my younger players playing at optimum football like the Kansas City Chiefs did the last 2 years to get my defense up to where I need it to be, and I could look like Kansas City and what they're doing defensively, that's what I want to look like. I'm not sitting around holding on to guys if I can make my football team look like that defense. I want to play. You even said this to me. I want to play the younger guys.
Silz, but don't you think the time for that is now past, dude? We're in a different time of the year. That's off-season talk.
Okay. Hey, I'm not as high on the guy you are as you are.
No, I agree. I was the one, but that's why in the offseason I was saying trade him. Now you're in week 8. What the hell you want to trade him in week 8 for? What's that getting us, everybody? What's that getting us? No, because here's what it's doing. It's creating a question on your defense that you don't have right now. You don't know what Isaiah Rodgers is going to be in the game. You don't know what Keely Ringo is going to be.
And I don't know if Slay's going to continue to be in and out of the lineup.
I'd rather have that question than not know if a guy can play.
You can't build a defense around people who are not in the lineup.
Defense isn't built around Slay.
That secondary you think is not built around the corners if you're going to not get pressure.
Yeah, but he's not the only guy out there.
That is so not true. You spent $25 million on 2 corners. Bradbury makes, like I said, 10, and the other guy makes 11.
Now you're in a different conversation. Yeah, how he fucked up with some of those contracts, no doubt.
But that's where they spend the money and the equity in drafts. They went 1 and 2 in the draft, and they paid 25 for 2 corners. Where do you think they go on defense more than anywhere else? They go there, and they paid, and they were wrong on Huff. But, dude, they spend money, and they spend equity on the corners.
All right, so let's just continue this conversation because it's a good one. All right, so we trade Slay, and Isaiah Rodgers gets absolutely destroyed in the next couple of weeks versus quarterbacks. I
don't believe he will.
Okay, well, you have Trevor Lawrence, you have Dak Prescott coming up, you got Jaden Daniels, you got Matthew Stafford, and you got Lamar Jackson. Okay, so what's the solution if you go out there and Isaiah Rodgers can't cover a traffic cone?
I don't think he's going to. He's playing center field. This guy's not playing man coverage.
I think you create.
Darius Slay is getting paid to play center field, and in my opinion, I think anybody can play that position.
I don't understand the desire to create a question on defense. I just don't.
Because there is a question. I have a question with his health and his availability.
I know, but you have that.
And so far in 8 weeks, there's been a question of his availability.
That's fair. I mean, you're always going to have that in the NFL, though, dude. Anybody can go down at any given moment.
I'm just saying. Here, well, let's take it off those two and go here.
Wait, can we knock on wood? There's been no knock on wood. There's been no big quarterback injuries yet this year, right? Like last year, I feel like quarterbacks were dropping like flies, man.
Who was out for a bit?
Jordan Love missed like a couple games, but like there's been no There's been no big injury, right?
Love missed a few games.
Watson's one.
Well, really, I don't know.
Well, he's not a great.
We're talking about good quarterbacks here. Tua
missed. All right, yeah. So there's been a couple. I felt like last year though, man. Like it started with Aaron Rodgers in week 1, and it just boom, 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 boom.
Yeah,
they kept going. But
65 quarterbacks played last year in the NFL.
Yeah,
think about that.
Crazy.
Hey, let's get to the super chats because we have Merrill coming up at the bottom of the hour.
Yeah, appreciate everybody, man.
Thank you, guys. You guys are great. Please hit the like button.
Jarrell checks in. Jarrell, what's up, bro? Are we worried about fucking stats or fucking winning games? Silz, did Jimmy give a damn about Vinny Testaverde throwing for 4K? Yes, Jarrell. I love it. That's exactly how you shut Sills' ass up, is you turn it into Miami football and you say, why? If it didn't matter then, why does it matter now?
Because the game is set up for the passing game.
Oh, bullshit.
It's
win.
Not.
Just win.
It's not set up for the passing
game.
Win,
baby, win.
Yeah, all right. Win, baby, win. Holy shit, that's right. I forgot. We're here now with the Jalen Hurts fandom club here.
Jarrell.
Yeah, I do like Jarrell, though, man. Go ahead. Any green balls? No, it's green head. Hey, M. Reyes, I thought you were a paisan. Testaverde means green head in Italian. Thank you. Go ahead.
Just win, baby. Just win. Justo says, hey, Siri, what's the best formula to get a Super Bowl in Philly? Run, Saquon, run. Your 2 best running backs on the team, Barkley and Hurts.
There you go. Your 2 best running backs, I agree.
My iPhone just loaded up Siri when I did that.
There There you go, man. Look at that. Barkley and Hurts, best running backs on the team. I love it.
Yeah, great
Yeah.
stuff. Jarrell again, my man Jarrell says Shane probably wanted Richardson after coaching Jalen and having a successful season and a half.
Yes.
Yeah, but they're not the same. That's a
No.
knock on Jalen to compare those two guys. Richardson's nowhere near as good as Jalen Hurts.
And Jarrell, Richardson never put up the year that Jalen did, both when he won the SEC Player of the Year and also the year he had an OU. He never put anything like Zander and I are SEC honks. He was terrible there, man.
He was bad. He was really bad.
Dude, he was the 4th pick in the draft. I went, what? He had a 51% completion percentage there. I could not believe that they took him 4th. I'm like, that guy is nowhere a good player. They totally overdrafted him, man. How about this from that 23 draft? The 1st pick and the 4th pick look like bums.
Who was the first?
Bryce Young. I know. I hate that too, dude. I like the kid a lot.
I know. Look, I loved him at Bama. I met him at the Maxwell Awards. When I met him at the Maxwell, and I'm looking at him, and I'm
a fan of him.
And Bryce Young, I'm like, oh shit, I don't know if he's gonna make it in the NFL.
Zander, I'm a fan of him too, man. I am. It's a guy.
Dude aren't built for the NFL though. I don't know if he's built for the NFL.
Yeah,
I don't think he is.
I hope he goes somewhere
Justo
else.
Again, appreciate it, Justo. He says Zander Silz feels left out. Got to get him a T-shirt with his face.
Don't worry about it, Justo. You know what? I've asked 100 times. I asked for clips. I asked for shirts. You know what I get? Ungats. I get ungats.
He gets a multi-million-dollar salary is what he gets. He gets he gets all my money. So I got no extra. I don't got a couple extra peanuts to buy a shirt. All right,
that's a true statement right now going on here.
Abe checked in. Right, Sills. They want to be pandered like Tua.
Tua led the NFL in passing yards last year. He's a good football player, man. I like Tua.
Jalen Hurts, 1544, 8 tutties, 4 inch, 98.6 rating, and then he gave Purdy's. Holy shit, this Purdy already hit 2,000.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Purdy, 2101, 10 tutties, 7 inch, 4.4.
And Hurts is on pace for 3,600 yards. Go get him, kid.
Yeah, by the way, these were now before you brought me on, but Prince was right with this, man. He was right with this.
He ain't right with shit.
He is. Yeah. Why? If he wasn't right, then Andy Reid wouldn't have traded for DeAndre Hopkins. It's a fact.
Dude, you're making DeAndre Hopkins sound like DeAndre Hopkins of 8 years ago.
No. You're missing the point.
What's the point?
The point is that he still felt like he needed more.
He is right now. They need a guy.
Sills, you need somebody, man.
Rasheed Rice got hurt.
They brought in a guy.
Okay, they brought in a guy. They brought in Julio Jones.
Prince, I'm with you. Sills ain't gonna. It's
out of your mind. Out of your mind.
It's in this year and then out this one. Polska Trucker says, I do believe we need to get a veteran at DE or D line like Sue and Joseph a few years ago. Hashtag pander the Zander. I love it, Polska.
There you go. That's
the worst nickname I've ever been dubbed in my life is stupid pander Zander. Because in a couple of weeks, you guys will be saying I'm no longer pandering when I rip AJ Brown for some stupid.
Don't worry there, Polsky, because it'll be back to the same shit. Because you know why? You'll all come back to Big Sills again and go, I can't believe you were white, Sillies. I can't believe it. He stinks. I want a new toy at quarterback. I know what's up. I got
Devontae. What's up, my guy? Devontae's spelling of Devontae is my favorite. I don't like Devontae Smith's. I don't like Devontae Adams's. I like Devontae right here. Devante. I think that's fresh. He checks in. What's up, my man? He says, I'm calling Barkley Bowl in Jacksonville, and Hurts is elite. Shout out, Playmaker.
I had to kick his ass last
night. Yeah, Devontae.
Come on my program and talk shit like that.
Who better to shut Big Sills' ass up than a Miami Hurricane legend?
Oh, man, that was terrible. That was terrible. Don't forget, our good friend Mel Reese is going to join us here, too, also in a couple minutes. I got to take a timeout. I haven't taken a timeout yet.
Dude, it's unbelievable. You can just go, man. You're impressive.
I can't believe I haven't taken. Well, you know what I like to do? I like to, like the Eagles haven't done finally for the first 3 times this year, this 3 weeks. I like to get momentum going, kid. That's what I like to do is get momentum going.
Yeah, so when I tell you let Jalen get some momentum, why you get so mad?
because I don't believe he can have momentum, because I don't believe he's capable of it.
Oh, bullshit.
I don't believe that the organization is capable. I want to see this week. I
That
can't
is
wait.
bullshit.
Okay. All right. No, he's been great this year. Guy's been average.
Yeah, what's been going on in the chat today, man? That's why I told you before the show. Don't open.
You know what? I'm questioning now your taste in like in chicks and stuff. I mean, I know you date a really beautiful girl now, but dude, I mean, I'm kind of shocked because at the end of the day here, man, I mean, Jalen Hurts is like an okay looking chick right now. You don't date okay. You and me date the prom. We date prom queens. I mean, the guy's been okay. I mean, you know, he's
what
not
a shitty analogy to use.
Wait,
I don't look at Jalen Hurts.
He's not fat. He's not, whatever. And he's kind of okay. It's kind of like a chick that wants, to go right, Holy cow, man. I think the prom.
I don't know what the hell Silz meant right there. I really don't. Forrest, is that a pause? Can we get a pause for Big Silz there? I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
Well, I know.
Right now. Pause.
Let me go.
Look, dude, I like what I've seen. I'm not, look, Silz, I honestly do. I know that sometimes I'll probably come off to people like I got eagle colored glasses.
You should.
I really don't, because the people I grew up with, the kids I went to school with and shit, they used to hate me because I was always shitting on the Philly teams, because I always had a gripe with them.
I give it
to you how I see it. First 4 weeks, I said Jalen Hurts looks like a stiff and he needs to get his shit together. Last 3 weeks, I'm like, this looks like what we wanted it to look like.
So you were the Silz in high school?
I was the Silz of high school.
Wait, you were the Silz of St. Joe's?
I was.
Wow, the nuns and the priests.
I had people pissed off, man.
Well, hey, Zander, Krause, Sister Judith would like to see you. Please come down here. You're talking too much shit on the bird.
Don't bring me back to the grade school Catholic school days. I lived in the principal's office. Might be renamed after me for all I know right now, dude.
I told you, man. I had Sister Marguerite Fish, and she used to have a paddle that used to have holes in it, and all I remember was the whistling noises. Boom! Dan Cilio, please go to Sister Marjorie Fish's office. That was the chick of discipline. And when you walked in here, I'm going to tell you this. The Rock had smaller guns than what Sister Fish did. And she'd roll them sleeves up, and she'd go like this, hands on the desk. And, not good.
The Jesuits didn't love me too much, Joe. They didn't. But I love St. Joe's Prep.
Holy cow, did I get my ass slapped around in that thing.
I got some great stories from St. Joe's Prep. Maybe I'll tell them one day.
Absolutely.
Got some great ones.
Let me go. I got to go because our friend Merrill Reese is gonna join us. Please hit that like button. Zander, great segment as always.
Great stuff, man. Appreciate everybody in the chat, and even a big shout out to JNNAACPM who did reach out, which is, by the way, why, yes, I did remove him from this, because he was crying that he was going to report Big Silz to the NAACP. I'm like, why? Because he doesn't like Jalen Hurts? What? What a crazy comment.
It's working.
People take it too far, because I'm not going to sit here and allow the platform that we built be slandered by people who don't give a crap about Jacob. It's bullshit, though. Like, you're going to sit here and think because I tell you can say whatever you want. I mean, you can criticize us. You can call us assholes. If you're going to do something like that, I'm going to take you and remove you. Because this is the platform that we built, that I've invested all of my life savings into.
And he's giving it to me. Hey, wait.
I mean, serious. No, I mean, on a serious note, though. That's why that's why I hate that crap.
Hey, wait. Zander, okay. Silz has now been turned in to the NAACP for not liking Hurts. This is a new one. Hey, it's one thing to make a mistake by saying something on the air. It's another thing. I want to report him because he doesn't like Hurts as a quarterback for the Eagles. Oh my God.
Right, we got a couple more supers. You're not taking a break. Merrill's going to be in here, and I'm going to have to drop off.
I haven't even sat down. Oh my God, but on to me. Go ahead.
You got to take a piss?
No.
Against
Cincy, I can hold that too.
They played against Cincy. They played cover one press man as their second most coverage. Read Greg Krause. That's pretty good.
Okay.
They did. They have been more aggressive. They have been more aggressive.
Hurts is so great. By the way, I've got to shift gears because my boy's coming up. I can't talk shit on Hurts with Merrill's in the house because he loves him.
All right, let me get out of here. Appreciate it, Silz. You can take a break and we'll get Merrill up.
All right, man. I appreciate it. Thank you guys very much.
Thanks everybody.
Awesome stuff. All right, dudes. Do me a favor. Please hit the like button. Keep it here, National Football Show.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
He's blocked well and tries to cut through the middle. Oh!
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.